Welcome back to the Party Package, or the O Show soon to be, or whatever, something like that. Today we are going to do something different. I've been doing the NHL previews and stuff, and I like doing those videos, but I want to do more things, and I'm trying to come up with ideas, and there's a few things that I've thought of, and I have an idea in mind of a series called NHL What Ifs, kind of like Marvel What Ifs, but this is NHL related. So today, obviously you've already read the thumbnail. I hate when YouTubers say stuff about ooh, surprise. It's like it was right in the thumbnail. So obviously you already know by the title that I'm going over the Bruins' failure of the 2015 draft. Now, I don't know how widespread it is. I live in Arizona, so not a lot of people know this. I've told people this story, but my friends that do know hockey don't know about this. So I thought I'd share my opinions and just this kind of interesting story. So in the 2015 NHL draft, the Boston Bruins that season missed the playoffs for the first time, and I think in 9 or 6 years. I don't know why I got mixed up on the number. And they decided to go all in. Not really in a rebuild, but go for the future. Get amazing talent, and they had an amazing idea that only things like this happen in like NHL GM mode. So the Bruins go out in the draft lottery. They get the 14th overall pick. But not only that, but they also trade away Milan Lucic, longtime Bruin Lucic, away to the LA Kings in return for Martin Jones, Colin Miller, and their first round pick, which was the 13th pick. And then for the 15th pick, they trade away restricted free agent Dougie Hamilton, who didn't want to sign there. Trade him away for the 15th pick. So they have 3 picks. They have 3 picks in the first round in a row. And I will say, I think what everyone says is the best draft in hockey. This is the year that Connor McDavid and Jack Eichel got drafted, as well as Mitch Marner and Mikko Rantanen, but these guys were already taken off the board. So the Bruins, in their 3 picks right in a row, they draft number 13. Actually, hold on. That's better. For the 13th overall pick, the Boston Bruins select Jacob Zaboral. At 14, Jake DeBrusk. And 15, Zachary Senyshyn. Thank you. Now, after becoming the GM, the Bruins select those 3 guys in a row. Now, some of you watching this might not even know who those people are. Some of you watching this might very well know who they are, and probably you guys that know them probably actually know this story as well. But Jacob Zaboral, not a very big name in the NHL. Jake DeBrusk, I think a lot of people probably know who he is, but Zachary Senyshyn is probably the biggest mystery out of them all. Of course, 2 out of these 3 players are not NHL regular players, and one of them is a just recently wanting to leave Boston player, Jake DeBrusk. Obviously, not a very good draft for them in this draft. Looking back on it now. But looking back then, it's like, wow, look at those 3 guys. They just drafted 3 forwards. These guys could be the top line in the NHL one. Like, these 3 forwards. They didn't even get it. Wait a second. Yeah, they did. Senyshyn's a defenseman. What am I talking? Zaboral's a defense. Never mind. Whatever. They draft 3 players. 3 players in the first round in a row. What a story. This is going to be the Stanley Cup boost that they need, because they already have Marchand, Bergeron. They already have they didn't have Pastrnak at the time, but they've already got a stacked team. Now look at them. This is going to be incredible. Which also, I have a better Boston shirt, but I can't find it. But this is going to be incredible. Now, obviously, looking back on it now, this was a terrible, terrible draft. So my question that I set out on is a very easy one. It's not hard to do, but who could they have done better? So, Bruins GM back in position. Who could we have drafted better? Instead, for the future of the organization, what could we have done? Well, drum roll please. Ta-da! At 13, we draft, most likely, Matt Barzal. At 14, Kyle Connor. And at 15, Thomas Chabot. Thank you very much. And go Bruins go! Now you might be saying, there's two names right there. Well, Sebastian Aho is better and has more points than Matt Barzal, but Barzal would have been more likely because Barzal, and the more interesting thing about this topic is that Matt Barzal, Kyle Connor, and Thomas Chabot all were drafted the next 3 picks after the Bruins 13, 14, and 15 picks. Matt Barzal, an obvious superstar to be one day in the NHL. If one day the Islanders trade him away or he finally gets to leave the team and get to show off his real skill set. Kyle Connor, who every year is in the top 10 in points and is a really underrated player. And Thomas Chabot, one of the best defensemen in the NHL right now. Look what they could have done with the next 3 picks. In the next 3 picks, the Islanders pick Barzal, the Jets pick Connor, and the Ottawa Senators pick up Chabot. And immediately, those could have been the 3 picks. Also, they could have, out of just the draft, which these are unlikely picks because some of these guys, like, once again, sometimes, later picks, no one saw them expected to become big names. Such as we have Travis Konechny, who's at 24, first round. Besser at 23, who's in the first round. Rupe Hintz in the second round had at number 49. Anthony Cirelli at 72. And, of course, the infamous Kirill Kaprizov, who was drafted at 135 in the 5th round. Of course, that was a surprise, not really a surprise pick. He was older already, and he might not. That's more of a story, which that one should be erased because that's unfair. Because any team could have picked him up in five rounds. Someone could have grabbed him, and no one did. So that's not fair for the Bruins. But those other 3 guys totally were up for fair game, and they didn't pick them up. Instead, they go with Senyshyn, DeBrusk, and Zaboral. Not in that order. Reverse order, actually. So this is what they could have done with. They could have had Barzal. I picked Barzal and Aho because they're 2 centers. If I was in charge, I'd say a center, a winger, and also a defenseman. So obviously you got your superstar center in Barzal or Aho. Kyle Connor is your superstar winger, and then your superstar defenseman, which they would have gotten in Charlie McAvoy later, but whatever, in Thomas Chabot. So now that after going through that, the question is, how good would this Bruins team be? Well, I've done just that for you. And as the Boston Bruins GM, I would like to show to you the unrealistic version of the Boston Bruins. Now, of course, this team probably could never exist. Now, because for obvious reasons. But let's just say Barzal, Connor, and Thomas Chabot is picked up in that draft. Now, this is unlikely, but technically possible. You got Pastrnak, Barzal, Marchand first line. Bergeron's rumored to come back with a 1-year contract, but it hasn't happened yet. But we're being crazy here. So what if Bergeron signs a contract? You got Connor, Bergeron, Hall. Then third line, Smith, Coyle, Foligno, and then Stanika, Zacha, Federic. Now, and then on defense, you've got Chabot on the left, McAvoy on the right hand, left hand, Lindholm, Carlo, Forbort, Grishalik, Swayman, and Olmark. Now, obviously, I know, impossible team to make, but technically it's not impossible. Technically it's not impossible, so we'll just go along with it. This team right here, obviously, in my opinion, would at least be in the running for the best team in the NHL. I mean, just look at this team. Tell me how many points a team with Matt Barzal between Marchand and Pastrnak would get with his superstar speed paired with Marchand and Pasternak's shooting and abilities. That would be easily all 3 players getting 90 to 100 points. And that's insane. Bergeron, Connor, Hall. I mean, even if you switch imagine Connor, Marchand, and Barzal. You got 3 of the fastest players in the leagues. You put in Pastrnak, Connor, Barzal. You got speed and shoot. I mean, there's just so much possibility here. And then, of course, Chabot, McAvoy, Lindholm, Carlo. That would be an elite of probably the best defense in the whole league. Now, of course, this is impossible. They would not be able to afford to have all these players on the same team. But we're just going along with what could have happened. Even if you wipe away Taylor Hall's contract. You get rid of Hall, get rid of Bergeron, and you get Connor, Marchand, Barzal, and Pastrnak. I still think this is maybe the best team in the league because there's just so much pure superstar right here, especially with Barzal being able to play along with some amazing offensive talent to be able to elevate his game. And Shabbat and McAvoy, Lindholm, Carlo, Grishalik, Forbor, I mean, that would be the best lineup. That would be the best defense in hockey. There'd be no weighing it down. They'd be getting points, and they'd also be playing defense. This team could have all changed. Now, Bruins fans, I'm not a Bruins fan. This is my jersey, so that's that for a team that I get to choose to play on. This is a cool shirt, I guess. Too big. But Bruins fans, this could have been your team. If your team, now I know I'm well aware that if you are a Bruins fan, you are well aware of this happening. But if you weren't aware, this could have been the Bruins dynasty right here. You think they don't win the 2019 Stanley Cup against the St. Louis Blues with this squad right here? If you don't think that, you're insane. So that's all I really have to bring to you about the 2015 NHL draft disaster for the Boston Bruins and the terrible mistake that they made in drafting 3 basically nobodies with no good careers, and instead going with them instead of drafting for literally the next 3 people in line. That's the craziest part. It's the next 3 people. The next 3. Even if they did DeBrusk, because I know his father worked for the Louis DeBrusk, whoever. Even if they go DeBrusk and Barzal and Connor, and then there's also other players. What if they pick up and like Hintz? I mean, there's so many possibilities here that could have happened, but the craziest part is this all happened right after their first 3 picks. So that's insane. A little teaser for what I got next up in this What If series, which also revolves around the draft this time, just coincidentally, is how the Arizona Coyotes could be the best team in the entire National Hockey League, the LNH, the Ligue de Hockey Nationale. The League of National Hockey, whatever it is in French. The Coyotes could have been the best team in the league as well if they did something along the lines of what they did in this 2015 failure. So, wait, hold on. We'll close that on the better looking side of the board. So, I guess until next time, this could have been your Boston Bruins team. And until next time, I have been Money, Owen, the party, whatever you want to call me, O-Dog. Soon maybe to be the O Show. Just be on the lookout for that. And until next time, please pick up your free subscription down below by hitting that red subscribe button. Leave a like, a dislike, and go down below and tell me any sorts of rants, opinions, hints, comments, concerns, suggestions, reviews, feedback, or other types of other words that you'd like to leave down below. And do you think those 3 players would be the best, or who would you have rather picked up in this lineup of players, or anyone else? Tell me some other teams or any other what-if situations that you think I should cover. And until next time, I've been O-Dog, O-Money, O-Show, O-Win. Too sweet, and ta-ta for now.